What's going on, everybody? We've got a solid MLB slate on Wednesday, and there are a few spots here where the pitching matchups, the bullpen situations, and the recent form are giving us some real angles to work with. Let's get straight into it. First up, Texas Rangers at Miami Marlins. The Rangers come in a couple games below .500, and they're trying to bounce back after dropping Game 2 of this series 6-4. They'll hand the ball to Jacob deGrom in Game 3. He's 6-4 with a 3.59 ERA, but he's been a little up and down this season. His last start against the Padres was rough, giving up 6 earned runs in 6 innings, even though Texas still came away with the win. That makes this a bounce-back spot for him, but it's still not a spot I love blindly. Texas does have a top 10 bullpen with a 3.48 ERA, so they've got that going for them. The bigger problem has been the offense. They're 27th in runs scored and 22nd in slugging percentage, and lately they haven't been doing much damage at the plate. Miami, meanwhile, is coming off a win and has now won 5 of its last 6. They'll start Eury Perez, who just came off the injured list and looked sharp against Toronto. He threw 4 scoreless innings, struck out 9, and looked like he was in good shape physically. The Marlins bullpen has been excellent, ranking top 4 or top 5 in the league, and that's a big part of why they've been so tough to deal with. Offensively, they've dealt with injuries, but they're still 16th in runs scored and 15th in batting average, so they're not totally dead at the plate either. My best pick is Miami as the home underdog here. Perez on the mound, the better bullpen, and the better offense make the Marlins look live in this spot. Next game, Chicago Cubs against the New York Mets. The Cubs are up 7-2 in the first game of the series, so they're in a decent spot already. Chicago's bullpen has been good this year with a 3.82 ERA, and the offense still has some strong numbers overall. They're top 10 in runs scored and 3rd in on-base percentage, even if the recent stretch hasn't been as explosive as earlier in the year. The Mets are dealing with a major issue because Soto left after 4 innings, and that's obviously not good news. He may miss both games of the doubleheader, and if that happens, it's a big problem. The Mets bullpen has been excellent, top 5 in ERA, but the offense has been the real issue all season. They're 28th in runs scored and 25th in batting average, and without Soto, that gets even worse. My best pick is the Cubs here. Next up, Cleveland Guardians at Chicago White Sox. Cleveland is 41-38 and in the top of the 9th, down 2-1 in Game 2 of this series, so they could be headed into Game 3 trying to avoid a sweep. Tanner By gets the start, and he's 2-8 with a 4.03 ERA. His last outing against Houston was solid enough, but he hasn't always had the cleanest results this year. He has had some good starts, though, so there's at least some bounce-back potential here. The Guardians' bullpen has been okay with a 3.84 ERA, and that's enough to keep them competitive. The problem is the offense. They're 26th in runs scored and 29th in slugging percentage, and that is not a great profile. Chicago is 40-37 and has won 2 straight after getting swept by Detroit. Eric Fedde gets the ball, and he's 2-6 with a 4.46 ERA. He's actually been on a bit of a solid run lately, with 4 straight reasonable starts. He's not dominating, but he's giving them a chance. The White Sox bullpen has been below average with a 4.39 ERA, and that's a concern if Fedde doesn't go deep. Offensively, they're 12th in runs scored and 23rd in batting average, so they're a little better than Cleveland at the plate right now. I'd lean slightly under 8.5 here, and if I had to choose a side, I'd go a little bit toward Cleveland. But this is not one I'm rushing to get heavily involved with. Next game, Boston Red Sox at Colorado Rockies. Boston is 31-45 and already up 5-1 in Game 2 on Tuesday night, so they've got a chance to keep momentum going here. Ranger Suarez gets the start, and he's been excellent. He's 3-3 with a 2.93 ERA, and his last 3 starts have all been very strong. He's been consistently giving them quality innings. The Red Sox bullpen has also been very good with a 3.20 ERA. The issue is the offense. Boston is the lowest scoring team in the majors, and they're also 27th in slugging percentage. Even in Colorado, that's not an attack I'm fully trusting. The Rockies are 31-48 and probably coming off another loss. Kyle Freeland gets the start, and he's 1-7 with a 7.36 ERA. That said, he did just throw one of his better games of the season against Pittsburgh, so maybe there's something to build on there. The problem is the bullpen behind him is terrible, with an ERA over 5. Colorado's offense has actually been better than expected in some areas, ranking 12th in runs scored and top 10 in slugging, but that always needs some Coors Field context. The Red Sox are -170, the Rockies are +145, and the total is 11. My best pick is the under 11 here. I also lean Boston to win, but the stronger look for me is the under, because I don't see Boston doing enough at the plate to completely run away with this one. Next up, Baltimore Orioles at Los Angeles Angels. Baltimore is currently up 2-0 in the top of the 5th in Game 2, so they've been in good shape in this series. Trey Gibson gets the ball here, and he's 1-2 with a 5.81 ERA. He's had some control problems lately, and while he wasn't awful against the Dodgers, he hasn't been especially sharp overall. Baltimore's bullpen has had a rough year with a 4.52 ERA, so that's a concern. The offense, though, has been trending up. They're 8th in runs scored, and even if the batting average is only 20th, they've shown enough power to matter. The Angels are 32-48 and will start Jose Soriano, who has been very good overall at 8-4 with a 3.03 ERA. He did struggle a bit more recently against Oakland, but for the most part he's been one of the better parts of this team. The issue is the Angels' bullpen, which has been one of the worst in baseball. Offensively, the Angels have dealt with injuries and are only 11th in runs scored, 21st in batting average, and 16th in on-base percentage. I don't see a ton of value here, but if I had to lean, I'd go slightly Angels at home. But my best pick is the under here, especially if you want to try it in the first 5. Next game, Kansas City Royals at Tampa Bay Rays. Kansas City is 34-46 and has won the first 2 games of the series, which is a positive. Noah Cameron gets the start here, and he's 4-4 with a 4.20 ERA. He's had some rough outings recently, but he's also shown the ability to give them 5 decent innings. The Royals' bullpen has been a real problem with a 4.82 ERA, and that's where games can get away from them. The offense has also been inconsistent. They did score 12 in one of their recent games, but over the full season they're 17th in runs scored and 18th in slugging. Tampa Bay is 43-33 and trying to stop the slide. Griffin Jax gets the start, and he's been really good over his last 3 outings. He's only going about 5 innings, though, which puts pressure on a Rays bullpen that has also been shaky with a 4.67 ERA. The Rays offense is odd. They're 3rd in batting average and 5th in on-base percentage, but only 20th in runs scored and 26th in slugging. They get guys on, but they haven't always turned that into enough damage. I like Tampa Bay to bounce back at home, but -150 is a little steep. Still, my best pick is the Rays here. Now we have New York Yankees at Detroit Tigers. The Yankees are 47-31 and won Game 2 of the series 4-3. Ryan Weathers gets the start, and he's 2-5 with a 4.13 ERA. He was solid against the White Sox in his last outing, but the Yankees have actually lost all 4 of his last 4 starts. That's not ideal. The Yankees' bullpen has been strong, top 6 or top 7 in the league, so that gives them a solid foundation. The offense has been good overall, ranking 4th in runs scored and 1st in slugging percentage, but they've been a little quiet lately because of injuries. Detroit is 34-45 and had won 4 straight before dropping Game 2. Tarek Skubal gets the start, and he's 3-3 with a 3.02 ERA. He's been solid since coming back, though not quite at his peak level yet. Still, he's more than capable of giving Detroit a good outing. The Tigers' bullpen is middle of the road, and the offense has been rough. They're 24th in runs scored and 24th in batting average. Not a great profile. My best pick is the Tigers at home, and I also like under 7.5. Skubal on the mound and the recent lack of offense in this series both point toward a lower scoring game. Next game we have Seattle Mariners at Pittsburgh Pirates. The Mariners come in at 41-39 and have won 2 straight, including a 3-2 win in Game 1 of this series. They'll hand the ball to Bryan Woo, who's 6-5 with a 3.94 ERA. It's been a frustrating season for him overall because he's been up and down, but he just turned in a really strong outing against Baltimore. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts. That was a clean performance. The question is whether he can follow that up, because he has been inconsistent all season. If you've been tracking him, the pattern has been a good one followed by a rough one. That makes this a little tricky, but the Pirates are still a matchup he can handle if he brings that same stuff. Seattle's bullpen has been one of the team's strengths all year, sitting in the top 6 or top 7 in bullpen ERA. The offense, though, has been ugly. Randy Arozarena coming back from the injured list helps, but they're still 21st in runs scored, 26th in batting average, and 23rd in on-base percentage. Pittsburgh is 39-40 and trying to bounce back after Game 1. Braxton Ashcraft gets the ball, and he's 3-3 with a 3.18 ERA. He was excellent in his last outing against the Athletics, giving up 1 run over 6 innings, and 3 of his last 4 starts have been dominant. The Pirates' bullpen has been a weak spot with a 4.46 ERA, but their offense has been very good on the season, ranking 5th in runs scored, 4th in batting average, and 4th in on-base percentage. They haven't been as consistent lately, but they're still producing. My best pick is the Pirates at home here. Ashcraft has been more consistent recently, who usually gives you 1 good outing and then 1 shaky one, and Pittsburgh feels like the better side in this spot. I also like over 7.5 a little bit here. Next game, Philadelphia Phillies at Washington Nationals. The Phillies are 43-36 and just had that wild 14-9 win in Game 2 after dropping Game 1 4-1. They're continuing to climb and catching ground in the NL East. Aaron Nola gets the start, and he's 3-4 with a 5.71 ERA. He's shown a few signs of life lately, but he's still been inconsistent. His last few starts haven't exactly been clean, so there's still a lot to prove here. The Phillies' bullpen has been better this year, sitting at a 3.89 ERA, and that's a big improvement from where they were earlier in the season. Offensively, they're coming off a 14-run game, and that has to feel good, especially with Schwarber dealing with back tightness. Even with that, the offense overall has been a mixed bag. They're 19th in runs scored, 27th in batting average, and 17th in slugging percentage. Washington comes in at 41-39, which is actually a pretty respectable record considering where this team was expected to be. Miles Michaels gets the start, and he's 2-6 with a 5.47 ERA. He had 2 solid starts before getting roughed up by Tampa Bay, and the question is which version shows up here. The Nationals' bullpen has been a problem all season with a 4.70 ERA, and the offense is a little banged up too. Abrams is dealing with left side tightness, so keep an eye on that injury report. Still, this is a dangerous offense overall. They're 1st in runs scored and 3rd in on-base percentage, so they're not a team you can fully dismiss. My best pick is Phillies on the side here. Nola looks like he may be settling in, and if Washington isn't at full strength, that only helps Philadelphia. I'd also give a slight lean to the over, but the safer angle looks like the Phillies. Next up, Houston Astros at Toronto Blue Jays. Houston is 38-43, but they're still only 3.5 games back in the AL West, so they're hanging around. Mike Burrows gets the ball, and he's 3-8 with a 5.79 ERA. He had a solid bullpen appearance against Cleveland, but his recent starts as a starter haven't gone well. That makes this a pretty important spot for him. The Houston bullpen has been one of the weak points this year, and that's been a major issue. The bright spot is the offense. Even with some recent dips, they still have a very good lineup, and Alvarez is having an MVP caliber season. They're 8th in slugging, 14th in runs scored, and 18th in on-base percentage. Toronto is 39-40 and has been climbing a bit, but still has work to do in the AL East. Trey Ivich gets the start, and he's 3-3 with a 3.76 ERA. He's coming off a decent outing against Boston, and he's been okay overall. The Toronto bullpen has improved a lot during the year and is now under a 4.00 ERA, which is a positive. The bigger issue is the offense. Toronto just isn't producing at the level they need to. They're 23rd in runs scored, 19th in slugging, and 21st in on-base percentage. My best pick is over 8.5 here. I like it more than the side. Both teams have enough offense to put runs on the board, even if Toronto is getting the bigger share of the market respect. If I had to choose a side, I'd lean Blue Jays, but the total is the cleaner look. Next game, Milwaukee Brewers at Cincinnati Reds. The Brewers are 48-29 and have won 3 in a row, including a 2-0 win in Game 2 of this series. Shane Doran gets the start, and he's been excellent with a 3.40 ERA. His last 4 starts have all been solid, and he's been giving this team a chance every time out. Milwaukee's bullpen has also been very good with a 3.50 ERA. The issue right now is the offense, which has cooled off. Cincinnati is 37-41 and has lost the first 2 games of the series in low-scoring fashion. Red Lauder gets the start, and he's 3-4 with a 4.82 ERA. He wasn't awful against the Yankees, but he's been inconsistent and has had some rough outings mixed in. The Reds' bullpen is a major weakness, and the offense hasn't been much better. They've scored just 1 run over their last 2 games, and they're down to 29th in batting average and 21st in runs scored. My best pick is Milwaukee here. They're the better team, they've got the better pitching, and they've been more reliable overall. I think the Brewers are the side you want on the road. Next up, LA Dodgers at Minnesota Twins. The Dodgers just took Game 2 12-3, and now they go for the series win with Ohtani on the mound. He's had a strong year overall, though his last outing against Tampa Bay wasn't his sharpest. He gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings, but the Dodgers still won the game. The Dodgers' bullpen has been inconsistent, but the offense is obviously elite. They're first in most major categories and second in runs scored. Even with some injuries, this lineup still has massive upside. Minnesota is 38-42 and trying to stay afloat. Connor Pipp gets the start, and he's 2-5 with a 5.17 ERA. His last start against Arizona was rough, and he's been allowing runs consistently over his last 5 outings. This is a tough matchup for him. The Twins' bullpen is the worst in the majors by ERA, and that's a major problem. Offensively, they've been better than expected in some areas. They're 6th in runs scored, top 10 in slugging and on base, and batting .246 as a team. My best pick is the Dodgers, even if the price is a little high. They're the better team by a wide margin, and that bullpen situation for Minnesota is a major issue. I don't love the number, but the Dodgers are the side. Next game, Arizona Diamondbacks at St. Louis Cardinals. Arizona is 39-39 and just got the 4-3 win in St. Louis yesterday, so they'll try to keep that going here. Mitch Bratt gets the start, and he's a 22-year-old lefty making his way up from the minors. That makes this a pretty uncertain spot for Arizona, because there's a lot we don't know yet about how long he can hold things together. The Diamondbacks' bullpen hasn't been great either, with a 4.22 ERA. Offensively, they just haven't been the same team they were in recent seasons. St. Louis is 42-35 and doing better than expected this season. Matthew Liberator gets the start, and he's 3-4 with a 5.23 ERA. His last start was rough, and his last 3 outings have all been mediocre. The Cardinals' bullpen has not been good, and their offense has been a little inconsistent lately. Still, they're 15th in runs scored, top 10 in batting average, and 8th in on-base percentage, so there's enough there to work with. My best pick is over 9 here. You've got a young starter on one side and a struggling starter on the other, so there's a path for offense. If I had to pick a side, I'd lean slightly Cardinals at home, but the total is the better angle. Next game, Atlanta Braves at San Diego Padres. Atlanta is tied 5-5 in the 5th inning in Game 2, and they're trying to avoid a 3-game skid. Martin Perez gets the start here, and he's been outstanding with a 2.78 ERA. He's also won his last 4 starts, and in that stretch Atlanta hasn't had to score more than 6 runs in any of those games. That tells you how well he's been pitching. The Braves' bullpen has been the best in the majors by ERA, and that gives them a big edge. Offensively, they've been solid, ranking 7th in runs scored, 7th in batting average, and 6th in slugging. They've dealt with injuries, but this lineup still has a lot of talent. San Diego is 40-37 and has really struggled at the plate. Randy Vasquez gets the start, and he's 6-5 with a 4.17 ERA. He was shelled by Texas last time out, and the Padres have gone 1-4 over his last 5 starts. That's not great. The Padres' bullpen has been excellent, easily one of the top 2 in baseball, but the offense is the problem. They're last in every major offensive category except runs scored, where they're second to last. Machado is batting .185, and the lineup has just been brutal. My best pick is Atlanta here. Perez is in great form, the Braves' bullpen is elite, and San Diego's offense just hasn't been trustworthy. Atlanta feels like the better side. Last game on the slate, Sacramento Athletics at San Francisco Giants. The Athletics are currently up 2-1 in the 5th inning in Game 2, and they'll send Gage Jump to the mound here. That's a strong run of work, and the A's offense has also been better than expected. They're 10th in runs scored, 9th in batting average, 4th in slugging, and they're getting on base at a solid clip too. They've been a top 10 offense, and that matters. The issue is the bullpen, which is one of the worst in baseball. That's something you always have to consider with Sacramento. San Francisco is 31-46 and just hasn't been good this season. Tyler May gets the start, and he's coming off the injured list. He's 1-7 with a 6.04 ERA, and this is his first start in about a month. That's a tough spot to return in. The Giants' bullpen has been below average, and the offense has been bad. They're 25th in runs scored and 25th in on-base percentage, so there just isn't much to like there right now. My best pick is the Athletics here. Gage Jump has been the better pitcher, May is coming off the injured list, and Sacramento's offense has been good enough to make a difference. If you want to be cautious, the first 5 is worth a look too. So that's the board. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who's betting these games tonight. It helps the channel a lot, and it lets me keep bringing you these daily picks and breakdowns. And I'll catch you in the next one.